EverDrive sells BCM replacement modules for the Mercedes R230 platform. The OEM BCMs are very prone to failure. They're a very common fault on these cars, and when they do fail, they often don't charge the front starting battery anymore. There'll be problems with managing both batteries, the auxiliary and the front starting batteries, and or will give a red message error on your dashboard, and may even disable some of the comfort functions that the car has, including seat heating and the vario roof operation. And so driving around with a faulty BCM is not a durable solution. So EverDrive has developed a replacement. It's a full system replacement, whether you choose to buy the full kit, which includes a DC-DC charger, including a CON module, or you just want to go for the CON module because you have your own DC-DC charger, or you would like to manage your own installation. Both kits more or less have the same functionality, and I will be focusing a little bit on the functionality of the CON module. As you can see, it's a very small module, and it basically manages the car's CON system and makes sure that the red light message that is on your dashboard gets removed. Basically does that by communicating to the CON system that the battery status is okay, and in turn the CON system will then also deactivate the relay K75, which prevents the use of the comfort systems like the seat heating and the vario roof. And so with mounting this module, you will have full functionality back of your car. You will remove the red light that's coming up on your dash, and additionally to that, there's also a remote control. Whether you buy the full kit or just the CON module, they both come with the remote control. The remote control offers the possibility for an emergency start. So let's say your auxiliary battery and your front battery are low on power, and you would like to operate the emergency start function. You do that by using the remote control, pushing the button, press and hold. It will allow you for the duration of 15 seconds to connect both of the batteries together and allow you to start the car. In order to do that, there's a couple of safety functions that I've built in to the CON module. One, you obviously need to have the key into the ignition and the ignition on, otherwise there won't go a signal over the CON that the features need to be unlocked. So it's actually a bi-directional CON system, and you also need to press the button here and hold it for 15 seconds maximum. It will automatically shut off after the 15 seconds. If you want to use it again, for instance a second start attempt, you have to release the button and press it again, and it will go for another 15 seconds. So in this system, it's basically everything you need to get your car back in full functioning order if you have already mounted your own DC-DC system and you just need that little bit of help managing the CON. We want to be very flexible towards our customers and not only give them one option for the full kit, so the one plug and play option, but also for the do-it-yourself folks who have already installed the DC-DC charger but just want to get rid of the red light message and want to have the ability to do naturally also the emergency start. This module is also mounted in here. It's under the DC-DC charger, so these are exactly the same thing. It is a modular build. You can choose for going for this and mount your own DC-DC charger, or you go for the full kit. Obviously with the full kit, it is all one-on-one mount to the original bracket. It's very neat, very tidy, no need for extra wiring, no need for loose cables in the trunk, no need for a very bulky DC-DC charger that doesn't really fit inside of the boot of the R230. The module has an extra security. It has a fuse here. For the fuse, you can see it here. It's a 5 amp fuse. When you take the full kit, the fuse is mounted here to the side. It's very accessible. You open the cap and you could potentially change the fuse if it's ever needed. but in principle all functionality that is in this as a standalone unit you will also find into the full con unit, as you can see here. In principle, it is a way to manage your front starting battery. This will only need to be charged, the battery, after starting it. And so this DC-DC charger will make sure that the front battery is at all times charged, and the relay here makes sure that you will only charge once the engine is running, and won't charge or draw on the engine or on the battery when the engine is off. And this is one of the special features of this unit. This is a zero draw unit, meaning that if the car is parked, if the car is not used, some of the other solutions that are in the internet, they have a minimum draw of anywhere between 20 to 50 milliamperes, and it only takes a couple of days to draw the battery to a level where the cranking will already suffer. The cranking power of the engine will already suffer, and that's because it's hard connected into the power supply of the car. And the other disadvantage of this is that it keeps sending signals to over the CON system, and keeps all of the other computers also awake in the car. This one is special in that sense because it listens to the CON system, not only sends actively but also proactively listens to the CON system, and when the message comes that the key is inserted into the ignition, it will wake up all of the modules inside of the car, including this one. So when the key is not inserted into the ignition, there will be a 0.0 draw, literally no draw. It will be completely disconnected from the CON system, from the power supply, and it will not draw on the battery at all. And it's quite unique for this system compared to other systems on the market. As said, the remote control comes with this as well. The original power cables connect just the same as with the original BCM. There is here an M8 bolt for the M8 cables and an M6 bolt for the M6 cables. There's been some optimization in the design, meaning original on the OEM BCM, the connection points are less than 10 millimeters square. These have been upgraded to 20 millimeters square, and there have been fuses incorporated here as well, where the fuse in is 30 ampere and the fuse out is 20 ampere, which is more than sufficient enough for the DC-DC module, which has a charging capacity of max 15 ampere. You also don't need much more than that. That's why some of these DC-DC units that are being built are far oversized for what you need. So this is probably the most practical solution on the market available. With those 15 ampere, if you crank your car once or twice, you may need to charge 1 or 2 amperes back into the engine, back into the battery, so you don't need a lot of capacity. After 5 minutes of driving, your front battery is back on the total amount of amperage, total amount of power, and then this unit will also disengage and not further charge the front battery, and in this way also spare the power that is being drawn from your alternator. Your alternator is then only focusing on your auxiliary battery, because all of the internal functions, let's say the lights, the radio, the seat heatings, they all draw from the auxiliary battery only, and so the alternator will then be focusing on charging the auxiliary battery only, because the front battery has been already actively managed. So how do you mount the kit? It's very important to mention that it is actually a one-on-one replacement. You don't need to do any additional wiring. What you see here is what you get. You don't need to do much more than that. I have, for the video purposes here, a bracket just to illustrate how it's done. So you can see the bracket. This is the bracket that is mounted originally on the shock tower, and the relay here and here is relay K57 and K75, which is basically the emergency operation that is now being done by the remote control, and the original, it's done by the OCM, the BCM. But we retained that original architecture, but now we added the user interface where you have to actively push the button to engage the emergency operation instead of it going automatically. It's one of the biggest failure points of the car, where the front battery is just in a bad condition and people crank the car repeatedly with low batteries, and then the amperage goes through the original BCM and burns it out. That cannot happen here in any case, but even as an extra prevention, there's now a remote control for it. So back to the mounting bracket. You basically take your original BCM and it fits over the bolts as like this. It mounts inside of the original bracket. As you can see, there is no difficulties whatsoever. You can reuse the original bolts and nuts that you removed from the original BCM. And actually, as a very neat feature here, you can see that there's a lead here on the side. By tightening down the nut on this lead, you will actually make also immediately the earthing for the unit, and there's no extra work needed here. Once you have mounted this unit on the bracket on the shock tower, it is a connection of the original cables. So M8 goes on M8, M6 goes on M6. That includes the connection for the emergency relay and the disengagement of the comfort functions. That all functionality remains, and you plug in the original connector. Just to show you how easy that is, I also have a original Mercedes connector. It was a poor Mercedes. I had to cut the connector off of it, but it just shows you how easy it's to connect, because it's a full-on drop-in module. You just push in the connector like this, and you basically have made your own wiring system work with this BCM. There's no wiring needed. You don't need to change nothing. There's not an extra wire that you need to run anywhere. This is what you'll get. This is what you will need. Basically 4 nuts and 2 cables and 1 connector, and you have a full working BCM replacement that will take care of your car's original charging architecture and will manage actively in 2 directions the CON system, will have 0 draw, and will still allow for emergency operation in case one of your 2 batteries are low on power. Whether you order the full kit or you will order just a BCM solution, you will have the functionality as I just mentioned. The connector will plug in also into the BCM. Everything is a 5-minute installation and self-explanatory. We offer a full web shop environment. We are a registered business in the Netherlands, and in our web shop you can pay with PayPal, with credit card. We are CE certified, and this is a very important point. These modules, they get permanently wired into the car, so you are required to have a CE certification that allows you to sell in Europe but also all over the world. In addition to that, I have a ROSE certification. That means that I do have taking care of the environment and also any disposal of material that has been done for this module. And in addition to that, I also have an E-mark, which is required to sell automotive products all over the world. So this is a full certified module that you can buy in a trusted web shop environment. The production is a minimum of 4 weeks compared to the alternatives on the market. That is relatively quick. They are handmade and made to order, but it is a minimum of 4 weeks waiting time to get the BCMs shipped to you. But we do ship worldwide. If on the website you may find that your country isn't a part of the list, please do write us an email and we will try to arrange shipping for you directly, and please do ask us any questions, any clarifications that you may require. We're very big on customer service. It's very important to us that our customers feel appreciated, respected, and that they get their questions answered, and we spend a lot of time doing that because we know that people have a lot of questions regarding their their product, their cars, and how to install it. And we are always available to do that in case it's needed. Um, Please reach out to us. Please take a look at our website. It will be listed below, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.